I'd like to welcome everyone out to this amazing event. As you can see, a few more people showed up, which is shows you what a significant milestone this is and what a great event it is. This is one of the happy times. We like these, yeah. I'm Scott Smith, CEO of Valley Metro, and we have been so honored at Valley Metro to partner with the City of Phoenix, the citizens of Phoenix who approved and paid for this station through T2050, Prop 104. So give yourselves a big hand to begin with. This is the first major light rail project that has been paid for with T2050 funds. We were excited at Valley Metro to undertake this project. Wouldn't have been possible without our friends and associates and co-partners at Ability 360. So let's give them a big round of applause. They are one of the reasons, although not the only reason, why this station was built. This is a unique area. As you can see, it's growing. A lot of the building and the development that's in this area, other than the stockyards, are recent. And of course, with Ability 360 being sort of the center of an activity that serves our disabled community, it just was natural to partner with them in designing a station that is unique. Now, I want to let you know that all of our stations are compliant with ADA, but we want to do something that went beyond that. We want to do something that was different. We wanted this to be somewhat of a laboratory, and so working with our partners, with Phil and our other partners at Ability 360, we did a few things that were different. You may not notice them, but I'll guarantee you that the clientele of Ability 360 do notice them. Things like longer, flatter ramps, wider aisles that allow easy access for two people with mobility devices to pass without stepping aside like they do on a regular station. You may not have noticed, because if those who were crossing the street, a unique device that doesn't require you to push the button to cross the street. It has a camera which notices when someone's waiting there and automatically starts the crosswalk control. Those are just a few of the things, but the big thing is going through the process, talking, listening to each other, and figuring out what we could do to make public transportation, and especially light rail, accessible, usable to all. At Valley Metro, a couple of years ago, we sat down and said, you know, what isn't our mission? We sort of figure out what we do, but why do we exist? Why do we exist? That's a real basic question that every organization should ask. And after a lot of discussion internally, we decided that we basically exist to do two things: connect communities and enhance lives. I think this station is a living embodiment of that core purpose. It does connect communities. And when we talk about communities, we're not talking city to city, although that's part of it, but we're talking about all of our communities, us and our work and our social and our entertainment, and yes, those with Ability 360 in the area around this. And there's no doubt that these kind of facilities enhance people's lives, provide opportunity. And this is why we're in the public transportation business and why we do great projects. So congratulations to all. Yes, let's give you a big hand. Joining us today are very important people. You know, I used to be on one of these lists, and then I was a has-been. But I get to now introduce the VIPs, and we're excited to have them there. You'll hear from a good number of them. Start with Congressman and former Mayor. Well, I won't say once a mayor, always a mayor. Congressman and Mayor Greg Stanton. Our newly elected Mayor, Kate Gallego. Councilwoman Laura Pastor. Councilwoman Felicita Mendoza. There she is. We would be remiss if we didn't introduce Verma Pastor here. Phil Pangrazio from Ability 360. Who are you here from? Where's Phil? Oh, Phil's doing an interview right now. Phil just can't ignore the camera. He's addicted to the camera. What can I say? From the Phoenix City Citizens Transportation Commission, Dave Moody. Dave, where are you? And Gail Knight. Gail, I saw Gail. There's Gail. And the chair of the CTC, Jennifer Miller. There we go. We also are very privileged to have one of the board members of Valley Metro RPTA from the city of Surprise, Vice Mayor Roland Winters. Roland, where are you? There's Roland right there. Whenever I don't look for Roland, I just look for the hat. If I can find the hat, I can usually find Roland underneath it. So thank you. So we are so grateful to have these, and we're going to begin. There's going to be, oh, golly, I totally forgot the birthday gal. Oh, you didn't want me to say that? State Representative Jennifer Longden. And Michelle. Representative Amish Shah. Representative Amish Shah. There you go. Okay, now is there any other very important person that I've offended by forgetting? If you're here, please stand up, take advantage of this. This is your one shot. You will be the one that's remembered. Oh, and I apologize, Ms. Wheelchair, Arizona. The very most importantest of people. Thank you. Well, we're going to begin with, we're going to hear, oh, did I hear somebody say, and by the way, you're all very important. If you weren't important, you wouldn't be here, because you made this happen. We forget that we would have no mission, we would have no opportunity to do things without the support of the citizenry of, in this case, the city of Phoenix, but the entire region, who has supported public transportation, but especially has supported light rail. 3 elections in a row have overwhelmingly approved light rail as a major component to our transportation system. Give yourself one more big round of applause for consistently supporting light rail. Thank you. We're going to begin, and we're going to hear a series of speakers that will impart their wisdom and good cheer with us. And it's wholly appropriate that we begin with the person that sort of led the effort as mayor and was a consistent and very vocal proponent and supporter of light rail, and now as a member of the United States Congress, has continued that support. So, former mayor and current Congressman Greg Stanton.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Great day. What a great day. Congratulations to everyone involved. Congratulations to everyone. What a beautiful light rail station, the 50th Street Station. This is what accessibility looks like, accessibility for all. Give yourselves a big round of applause. A great day for the people of the city of Phoenix, the people that were wise enough to support Proposition 104 overwhelmingly back in 2015. A great day to our new mayor, Kate Gallego, who led that effort as a member of the city council. Thank you very much. Now, Mayor Kate Gallego, your leadership. Thank you, Laura Pastor. You're a passionate advocate for public transportation and light rail. What you have done to support this project and expanding this system across the city is appreciated greatly. And of course, your family, Congressman Pastor, who was watching from heaven, his wife Verma is here. Thank you, the most impactful Congress member that we've ever had in the state of Arizona, Congressman Pastor. We wouldn't be here without his leadership. And of course, it was mentioned earlier, he was pimping for the cameras earlier. Where is our leader? The guy that was the first one to suggest it to me and the city council that we made a mistake when we did the first round of light rail. The first round of light rail was awesome, but we made a mistake by not putting a station here to support the people of Ability 360, the people that benefit from SPOFIT, the businesses of this area. He said it was a chance to rectify that historical mistake. We have done so here today. The leader of Ability 360, a leader in our community, Phil Pangrazio. Thank you, Phil. You are awesome. And a great day also for the Ability 360 posse. I see you over there. If you are someone associated with Ability 360, raise your hand. Let's give our Ability 360 folks a huge round of applause. We are a better community because of you. And a great day for the 50-plus businesses that are going to benefit from this station. 50 businesses right on site, 1,200 businesses in this area, a huge boost for our local economy. Obviously a model, a national model of what an accessible light rail station can look like, bringing these services to the people with disabilities in our community and so many others. A great day in our community, a day to celebrate. But it's also a sobering time, because the eyes of this community and the eyes of the country are upon this city and this region. Are we going to continue with the benefits of public transportation investment, including and especially light rail? Because of the investments that you have made, we have over $11 billion of public and private investment along the existing light rail line. Our model of public transportation investment benefits tens of thousands of riders every single day, benefits the businesses along the way, has changed the built environment of our city to become a much more environmentally friendly city to help us fight climate change. The benefits of public transportation infrastructure investment, particularly light rail, it goes on and on and on to benefit the community. And right now we're having a soul-searching conversation in this town. Are we going to continue with those benefits? Well, you know what? Who's going to say yes to that? Ability 360 and the advocates for our disability community, they say it's the right thing to do for us to continue building light rail throughout this city and throughout this region. Because if we slow down here in Phoenix, it's going to slow down the entire system. It's going to be a lot harder for me as a member of Congress to get the federal dollars that we deserve to help invest in these light rail dollars. You know who else says yes, that we need to continue? The people of South Phoenix, who voted 3-1 to support light rail into South Phoenix so that the people of South Phoenix can receive those benefits. And you know who else says yes to continue? The people of Maryvale, who also voted overwhelmingly to support light rail into Maryvale to Grand Canyon University. And this leadership of this community has a chance to continue those investments. So I say today is a great day that we are opening this 50th Street station. And it's a strong message about what we can do when we make smart, strategic investments in the people of this community. And let's keep it going here in Phoenix and our entire region. All right. Now, you know who else says yes and who has said yes and will continue to say yes as the leader of this city? Because there's no substitute for mayoral leadership when it comes to keeping these investments going, to make the case to the people. And we've got a great leader, a great new mayor of this city, who was my partner when I was lucky enough to be the mayor, the leader of the campaign to get Proposition 104. She made it a centerpiece of her campaign. The people of this community overwhelmingly said yes to her and her vision for transportation investments. And she's going to make sure that we keep these great things happening in our city. Our leader, Mayor Kate Gallego. Mayor.
Today we put Phoenix on the map as the leader in accessibility nationally. Today is a huge day for our entire light rail system and for the city of Phoenix. Under Greg Stanton's leadership, we've been pushing to be the most accessible city in the country, and today we're putting our money where our mouth is and opening this fabulous station that is a national leader in technology, in design, in inclusivity. So a great day for the city of Phoenix. And we certainly would not be here today without the leadership of now Congressman Greg Stanton, then mayor, who said, absolutely, this is the first place we want to go after we pass the Proposition 104 campaign. We need to come here and build this station. Phil and I were just reminiscing about during the 2015 campaign, he invited me down to speak at Ability 360, and a lot of people were skeptical. Would we ever build this station? People had a lot of doubts about whether this would be the first place we would go with Transportation 2050 dollars. And I'm very proud of the City of Phoenix for keeping our word. This may not be the area where developers will make the most money, but I think this is the station that will make the most difference in people's daily lives, and we ought to celebrate that today. It's part of a grand and exciting vision. With Transportation 2050, we are adding 42 miles of new light rail that will connect even more people to the resources in this area and to our entire community, and it is a huge step for inclusivity. When we were at the Veterans Hospital talking to veterans and about where they wanted to go, this was high on their list of making investments so that they could have the resources at this station. And it just means so much to so many people in our community. We would not be here today without a lot of amazing advocates. Thank you to our Citizens Transportation Commission who stepped up and said, we, the citizens of the City of Phoenix, absolutely want to start with the 50th Street Station. Also want to thank our amazing staff at the City of Phoenix. Our city manager, Ed Zerker, is here today, along with his leadership team. Deanna, Mario, Jesus, Marcus. We have the Alumni Association, Maria, Albert, Rick Neymark, also serving on our Citizen Transportation Commission, Keeney, our Streets Department Director, all work together to make this possible. It was an incredibly complicated project, running the light rail system while doing construction. Huge credit goes to Stacy and Whitbeck and their partners on the engineering side. Scott will recognize many of them, but Gannett Fleming, CK Group, all did a great job keeping people going, getting them to schools, getting to them their jobs, their medical appointments, all while building this beautiful project. So a great success for our construction and engineering community today. And we had many powerful advocates, but I also want to particularly recognize AARP Arizona. The first time they got involved with a transportation campaign anywhere in the country was with us in Arizona. And they particularly cited this station as well as the fact that we would expand dial-a-ride to the entire city as part of our early investments. They wanted to make sure that everyone can age in place and that Phoenix would be a great place for older adults. So we want to thank them for stepping up and taking that risk with us. And one of the great treats today is you'll get to hear from people who will benefit from the station, people like Tony Jackson, who has a much better commute you're going to get to hear about thanks to this station, and Rachel Fisher, who is a major leader in education and will also share her story about what this station means. This is a wonderful day for the people who use this and who will benefit from it, and we have so much to celebrate today. We also want to recognize a great congressional leader, and we would not be here today without Congressman Ed Pastor, who saw the vision for the entire system and wanted to make sure it served every single resident. We are lucky that his family is able to join us today, including Councilwoman Laura Pastor, who is a strong advocate for transit, for pedestrian safety, for making people can get around in our community. And the station will have a very special recognition of Congressman Pastor and his legacy. And I would like to welcome the entire Pastor family who's here today up to the podium so that we can unveil a very special element of this station. So this plaque will go up on the station where the balloons are here today, and it is a beautiful quotation from Congressman Pastor about what this means. With that, I want to welcome his daughter and our Councilwoman Laura Pastor up to the podium for a few words.
So I want to thank everybody for providing this on the platform. As many of you know, he dedicated his life to service and to community. And one of the areas that he was a strong advocate for was for transportation and infrastructure, and understood the importance of it knowing that it was about accessibility and getting people to and from their job, to and from to school, to and from community, meaning family, but also to their different activities that they needed. I am going to tell you a story, and some of you that knew him will appreciate this story. So I wasn't in council yet, but he was advocating for transportation and light rail, and he was pushing and working, and we were all in the trenches making it happen. And by going door to door and talking about the importance of transportation. So then I got elected, and they had already built the platform. And I got elected, and thanks to Jean, who is a constituent of mine, and Phil, they said, we need to meet with you. And I met with them on different occasions, and then they said, you need to come out to 360 Ability and understand what we're facing and why we need a station right in front. And so I did, and I came out, did everything, and they said, we're lobbying you because we want a station right in front, because when we go from where it's at currently, there's a hill, and it's difficult to go up the hill and get to Ability 360. So I said, okay, yeah, I'm like listening, trying to figure it all out. Well, behind the scenes, what was happening to me at home was I had a father who understood the importance of accessibility, access, and he was saying, Laura, this is what needs to be done. And I'm like, Dad, I am in there, and they are telling me no. Staff is saying no, staff is doing this, help me figure this out. He goes, I am. I'm working on the other side. And I said, okay. So here we are working hand in hand, team, and making sure that we can get it done. Well, and I'm going to use a word, and then he finally got a little testy with me in the sense of it. We had been working on it 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. He had been calling the mayor, and he goes, God damn it, Laura, this needs to happen. Do you understand? And I said, Dad, I understand. I'm trying to figure it all out. I'm working it as much as I can get it. So I'll never forget a meeting that I had with staff. And I said, they were giving me the reasons why we couldn't do this, historic preservation, and boom. And I said, all right, you know what we'll do? We will lobby the historic preservation. We will explain to them how we need to shift some of the pieces. We will then go to higher up, since he knows everybody up in Washington, and we will then now start working different angles in order for this to happen. And they all just looked at me and kind of just said, oh, they have a plan, right? So then I laughed, because one day I come home and he goes, I talked to Greg. And I go, okay. You talk to Greg, you talk to him all the time. No, I talked to Greg about the station, and this is what I said. And he says, Greg, if it's about accessibility and we want everybody to be able to go through 360 and it's access, this needs to happen. And this needs to be part of the T2050. Okay, great. So I'm very happy to be here today with all of you, because along with Phil, all the advocacy that everyone did and pushed politically, and also understanding how we needed to make it happen, we are here today. And so I really appreciate that his quote will be sitting there, because he did that. And he would he doesn't do it by himself, he does it with a collective. And so I want to thank everybody that pushed it along and that made it happen. So thank you.
Well, that's okay. That's why I'm here. I'll step up. After Laura said, I think we may have the wrong quote up there. So yeah, I think we're going to put another plaque that says, GD Laura, this is going to happen. Okay? That's the quote we're going to put. Is that okay, Verma? I think that best. I can tell you that Ed's attention did not end when the decision was made to build, because as she said, this was not easy. When you get into this and you're dealing with historical properties, and I don't know if you noticed that the U.S. Postal Service owns the property there, don't even try to work with that. And you have tight space and rock. It was hard. And more than one time, I remember my phone ringing. Scott, Ed Pastor, we need to talk. Ed was very much involved in the design components, and our head of capital services and development, Wolf Guerrero, had more than one lunch meeting and coffee with Ed talking about the design of this, so he was very much involved. And he usually called me, see, there's a segue here. He usually called me after he had a conversation with Phil Ingrassia. So Phil knew not only how to work the cameras, he knew how to work the politics, and he was very instrumental in making this happen. So I'd like to introduce President and CEO of Ability 360, Phil Ingrassia. Phil?
I have this mic. Is the mic? Yeah. Oh, I'm on. All right. I don't have to stand at the podium, which would be difficult. Well, hey, thanks everybody for being here. What a great day, right? What a great day. I'll start with a couple thank yous too, because, and I know everybody's been thanked already, but, Congressman Stanton, our former mayor, certainly, and all of City Council. When City Council approved the funding to build this station, it was unanimous. Every single councilman and woman voted to approve the funding to build this station. Now, that didn't happen easily, but ultimately that's what happened, because they all understood that we have this world-class Ability 360 center in our great city, and how could we not have a station near it and in front of it, so that thousands of people with disabilities could get here and get here easily and conveniently and be able to access the wonderful services we have. So thank you, Congressman Stanton, and all of our city council members for doing that. And I really want to shout out Valley Metro too, because all the folks at Valley Metro, Scott Smith with his leadership, they had the difficult task, as Scott has mentioned, of and the thing that Congressman Pastor really helped me with was moving that platform 300 feet further close to my building, our building, and that was not an easy task. So I'm sure there was a lot of cussing in the background. I'm sure my name was used in vain a few times, that Pangraziano guy. So anyway, the station, so thank you to Valley Metro. Your guys have been awesome, and thank you. And our partnership, of course, with the City of Phoenix. And I was telling Ed Zucker this morning, I always loved when Congressman Pastor said, Zucker, we got to build this thing. And so, anyway, Ed Zucker, we appreciate the city's partnership with getting this thing built. So it has a lot of additional accessibility features that went above and beyond the ADA. You'll notice the sidewalks are wider, the platform is wider. Two people that use wheelchairs can pass each other without one having to get out of the way so the other one could come through. It has the photo detection at the stop lights, so that if you enter the area of the stoplight, it's going to automatically detect that you want to cross the street, and you won't have to push a button to do so. And of course, the shading. The architectural design of the shade structures is going to make it a lot better for folks. I know myself, I struggle with the heat, and so I'm going to appreciate the shading. And I know a lot of people with disabilities are going to as well. And so lastly, we have thousands of people that use the Ability 360 Center annually, and not just here too. We get folks from out of town using the Sports and Fitness Center where many people that come from out of town, we host conferences, we host sporting events like wheelchair basketball and quad rugby and power soccer. They're staying at the local hotels, and now they're going to really be even more easily able to get to the sports and fitness center. So this means so much for the disability community. And again, I want to thank everybody that helped make this happen. It's a great day. Thank you very much. And with that, I want to introduce a couple people. They're going to share a little bit, just a second, a few minutes about their why light rail is so important to them. And I'm going to start with Rachel Fisher. Rachel's a therapeutic recreation student at the downtown ASU Watts College. And I'm going to let Rachel come up here and tell a little bit about, I know you come here often between downtown and the Ability 360 Center.
Absolutely.
So come on up here.
Okay, forward. We have to wait for the shake. Okay, yeah, come up here. Well, good morning. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody for allowing me and my service dog, Austin, to come and speak to you about the importance of the light rail and what it means to us. I'm very honored to be a part of the connection of inclusivity and accessibility here in Phoenix, and I just want to thank all the people who led the way and advocated on behalf of those of us with a disability. So thank you. As a recreational therapy student, what I do is I help to connect people with disabilities to leisure, and I help to advocate for them. The lack of transportation is a barrier or constraint to leisure. Those of us with a disability can't just get in a car and go and travel somewhere or go and get to a place like Ability 360, which is leading the way in leisure and accessibility for those of us in the community. So now this means that we can get on a light rail train, we can get to leisure, we can get to sports and fitness, and we can feel included in our own community. So thank you for that as well.
Up. And next is Tony. Is one of our, Tony Jackson is actually one of our employees at Ability 360. And I know he competes in power soccer in some of our sports programs. So welcome, Tony Jackson.
I'm really close to all of you right here because I was asked to sit in front of the podium. So first of all, I want to say thank you to Valley Metro, the City of Phoenix, and especially the team at Ability 360 for getting that light rail station put up. That building behind us over there is the Ability 360 campus, but it used to be called the Disability Empowerment Center. And although the name has changed, the mission has not. And today, with this light rail station opening up, it allows the campus to provide that service and fulfill that mission for so many more people within the disability community throughout the valley. So it's a really, really important step for opening up access for everybody throughout the valley. For me personally, it's going to save me 20 minutes a day and 2 miles up and down Washington Street. I used to get off, well, I still do, today I will, but 44th Street in Washington is where I get off, and I drive a mile to Ability 360 5 to 6 days a week. And so, who's excited for this thing to open up tomorrow? Me. I am very much so. So not just for me, but again, for the wider disability community in general, it's going to make a huge difference for a lot of people. So again, Valley Metro, City of Phoenix, Ability 360, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tony and Rachel and everybody else. You know, as has been said, I think the special thing about Rachel and Tony is that they remind us why we do these things. This isn't about places, and it's not about construction. At the end of the day, it's about people. And we can see, as I've started out and said, connecting and enhancing is all about people. And that's the special thing about why we celebrate these achievements. As has been said, this wasn't easy. politically, physically. I'd like to recognize those that it's been mentioned before who had a hand in building this. This was a very difficult build, as you've seen. Tight space. The reason why it was so difficult to move 300 feet, a lot of major utilities, a major arterial, historic site, existing buildings, and we had a wonderful team that came together and figured out how to make it happen. I'd first of all like to say every Valley Metro employee, and would you raise your hand? I'd like to especially thank them, been mentioned. It takes a team effort. I'd also like to thank our partners, because those, if you didn't come by here, you know, as you've heard, building this while you have this major arterial, a lot of cars, and you notice the number of trains that came through. This construction staff was incredible. Those from Stacy Whitbeck, if you're around here, raise your hand. They're back in the back with their hats on. Thank you. There was a lot of late night work. I would come by during the day and I'd say, why is nobody on the construction site? It's 11 in the morning. There's nobody there. Scott, why don't you come by at 1 tomorrow morning? There will be a lot of people there. A lot of late night, a lot of additional work that was done. The designers, Gannett Fleming, DWL, DIG Studio, yes. CK Group, CR Engineers, Moore and Associates, Geomatics, Core Pro, and 115 Degrees West. If you're part of these groups, please raise your hand. Thank you. And then the artist, as you saw, it's been mentioned, the artwork. The artwork is designed both to enhance the beauty of the station, but also it works as a shade component and a safety component. And our artist, Barbara Grigudis, there's Barbara. There, thank you, Barbara. There we go. I saw Barbara signing things there before. As you can see, you know, safety elements, shade elements that are also very, very beautiful and a lasting legacy. Thank you, Barbara. Yes, there were between 70 and 100 workers on this station at all times. This was truly a team effort. We'd like to thank all those who spoke to us today, but most of all, we'd like to thank you for the support. And I know I can't mention enough and echo what all the others have said. Thank you for your past support, your current support, but we really need you to continue to support this wonderful program, which has made such a big difference in our community. And it's not going to be easy. We thought the battle was over. It's not. We continually have to remind people that this is great. Now, one thing to leave you on a positive note is with all the challenges, we've been out there doing polling and doing things, talking to the community. And as one of our pollsters said, if there's one thing that's certain, it's that the debate over whether light rail should exist is over. This community has embraced light rail, has seen its benefits, and does support it. That doesn't lessen our need to be vigilant and to work hard, because there will constantly be forces by those who don't believe in it. This is living proof that this works. This is worth it, and that we need to even step up our efforts to make sure that this program, but mostly this dream, does not die. Thank you so very much for being here. Please enjoy each other's company. Party on. There's food at the back, and we'd like to thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you.